Canada is sitting on one of the largest housing bubbles of all time. If you want to know the reasoning why some people are saying this right now, keep watching the video. Hey, what's up? My name is Brett. I'm a realtor in the GTA, and this channel focuses on GTA real estate news, market updates, and educational videos, so you can stay informed when it comes to buying or selling real estate. If you find any part of this channel valuable, please, I'd like you to consider subscribing to the channel, hitting the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at an article that was published on CTV's website, and we have an analyst talking about how he thinks that Canada is sitting on the biggest housing bubble of all time. Let's jump into the article right now. Okay, so here's the article that was published by ctvnews.ca a couple days ago, and the analyst who describes Canada as sitting on one of the largest housing bubbles of all time warns that if it bursts, the country could be thrown into a deeper recession than forecasted. He said, I wouldn't necessarily say it's imminent. Philip Colmar, partner at Global Strategist at MRB Partners, I would say that it's pretty inevitable. So this is pretty frightening language to start off with. Some of the reasoning we're going to go into is housing prices relative to income. Colmar argues that those looking for a big headline about the housing bubble should be keeping an eye on the disparity between prices and incomes. He warns that decades of low interest rates in Canada seduced a lot of home buyers and has led to excessive leverage backing up the whole system. And we're going to talk about how leveraged Canadian homeowners actually are. And Colmar says that it's significantly north of where the US was before the 2008 housing market crash. So if we want to look at Toronto, the average home price in the GTA is $1,069,000, and this is as of January 2023, and the median household income is only $89,476. So that puts us at a 12x multiple, meaning the home cost is 12 times more expensive than what you make in a single year. So he goes on to say, unlike the US where buyers can qualify for a 30-year mortgage, which means they hold the exact same rate for the 30 years entire life of the mortgage, Canadian borrowers must renew their mortgage every 5 years at the prevailing interest rate. So that causes a wave of renewals to come in, and that's something that mortgage brokers have been talking about for a little while, and where people are going to have to be spending significantly more to service their mortgage than they had in the past. He goes on to say that interest rates in Canada are currently at the highest level since 2001 after a year of hikes aimed at combating inflation, and Colmar warns the pressure faced by homeowners with mortgages is just a taste of what's to come. Although Colmar doesn't think that a housing crash is imminent, he does warn that you're dealing with these kind of excesses. Hopefully, interest rates don't rise. So I want to show you guys this cute little book. It's 1988, Remembering When, and this is from the year that Sarah was born. So I guess I'm aging her right here. Hopefully she doesn't kick my ass later. But this is the cost of living in 1988. And as you can see here, I'm going to hold up the book. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, so I'll just tell you the numbers. But a new house in 1988 was averaging $91,777, and the average income per year was $24,000. So if we're doing some quick and dirty math, as I like to say, what that means is it was only a 4 times multiple based on your income to the expense of an average house. Right now, it's ballooned up by 4 times, so we're at 12 times income based on the average house price in Toronto. The median household income versus 1988 hasn't gone up, obviously, with the pace of housing in at least the GTA and Canada in general. I'm going to read a couple headlines here. I'm not going to go through the entire article, but what this is saying is a retirement crisis brewing as baby boomers near the end of their working lives with little, if any, savings whatsoever. So close to half of those aged 55 to 64 only have $5,000 or less put aside for retirement. And obviously, as you know, we can't survive on just $5,000 for the rest of our lives. Say you can't work when you're 64 and you're going to live till your 80s or 90s. What are you going to do to make up that amount of retirement savings? So, and I just did a quick Google search here, and this is from Statistics Canada. It's just pulled straight from there. Baby boomers who are aged 56 to 75 years old in 2021 accounted for the largest share of homeowners, 41.3% in Canada in 2021. It would stand to reason that you are going to sell your house to make up for those retirement shortfalls. I'm just thinking out loud here, thinking about what could potentially precipitate a crash. We have a demographic who a lot of them don't have adequate retirement savings, who may own homes. Baby boomers, some of them may be able to handle it if they have part-time jobs afterwards. They'll be able to handle the increased cost of living, but there's some who will need to make up their retirement savings and likely sell their homes. And if we're looking at people who have over-leveraged themselves during this COVID period, they may be forced to sell once they come up for renewal, and they're facing down the barrel of a gun, having to pay an interest rate that's double what they're used to, especially if they've over-leveraged themselves by maybe taking out home equity line of credits, or they have other debts that they need to pay for. That means that the potential remains that a bunch of supply comes onto the market, and who knows if there's going to be the demand to meet it. So at that point, prices will need to come down. Depending on who you are, it's going to be interesting or scary coming up to September the 6th, when the Bank of Canada is going to make their next policy rate adjustment, if they're going to hold or if they're going to raise by 25 basis points. I don't think anyone is saying that they're actually going to cut rates at this point. We're at the period now where the Premier of BC has actually sent a letter to the Bank of Canada urging them to not raise interest rates because people in BC are hurting under the debt loads that they've taken on. And there's a lot of people in the real estate space, some I see on Twitter, who just say like, all these people who are over leveraged had it coming. I think some real estate speculators maybe had it coming, but there are actual people, just regular everyday working people, who are hurting under the pressure of high taxes, wages that aren't raising fast enough, and home prices that are extraordinarily high. And to add insult to injury, we had at the beginning of the pandemic a Bank of Canada who is saying that interest rates would stay low for a longer period of time, seemingly not knowing that the amount of spending that was going on during the pandemic that was quote unquote necessary was going to affect inflation in any way. And they've been quoted as saying that inflation came out of nowhere. I think that's a little bit disingenuous. But if you thought I was going to wade into those weeds, not today. I think I'm going to save it for another video. So if you are one of those people who are coming up against a renewal, or you're struggling to make your payments, what you can do is you can book a discovery call down below. We have a lot of options and a lot of ways that we can get to a successful sale. So please, we're not trying to prey on those people in a desperate situation. What we strive to do is offer the best information to people about their current situation, and we like for them to make a decision themselves and go into the future confidently knowing that they're going to have a roof over their head and they're going to be able to keep their family and loved ones safe. That's it. That's the video. We'll see you guys next time.